efficiency by, helping with the homelessness of families.
So I'm going to share a little bit with you now about the challenges that come with collaboration. One major challenge is trust. So that is trust of the individuals. There might be some organizations might have history with other organizations that may not have been the best of experiences. And so trust becomes a major issue when you try to forge those two groups together, or their two mission statements together, or their visions together. It becomes a major issue for some organizations. And it's overcoming that trust and sitting down and coming to those agreements and developing those relationships through a lot of follow-up conversations that becomes important. Money becomes a major challenge within collaboration. And with that, it's the lack of it for some organizations, and then also the distribution of the money. So each partner may not see funding. And as we've showed you with DPYD, 4 lead agencies out of 12 receive funding. So at some point they had to come to an agreement of who had the capacity to manage vendor agencies. So capacity kind of fits in when you make that decision of how you're going to share those dollars. And then there's a lot of discussions afterwards about, well, when am I going to see the pots of money? Or because some agencies come to the table without a preconceived notion of receiving dollars. And then there are most agencies that come to the table, and when funding is discussed, they want to see, well, how will our organization benefit financially? So money becomes a challenge. Decision making also becomes a big challenge within collaboratives, and reaching agreements. And we talked about that a little bit today, reaching consensus among multiple organizations who have multiple leaderships, and getting those leaders all to the table requires a lot of facilitation and a lot of coordination. And then leadership. Leadership makes a huge difference, and it can make or break a collaborative effort. You need to have strong leadership from the top, so at your executive staff level, and then you need to have leadership from a management perspective of who's actually facilitating a collaborative effort. And then we've also listed transparency, and that's just the honesty and integrity and openness of both individuals at the table and then the organization as a whole. And then accountability, who's going to take ownership, whether it's good or bad. Failure has no parent, and success has many parents. And so when you're looking at who's accountable for something not being successful, whether it was successful or not, somebody has to come to the table and say, we're taking ownership of it, and we're going to move on from that failure. We're going to learn from that failure. We're going to take those lessons learned. We're going to pull from that experience, and we're going to move forward. So accountability can be a major challenge within a collaborative effort.
Point to highlight, though, we often break down collaboratives in 2 ways in our work. One is a strategic collaborative, which is really around, okay, you're just getting around, there's a certain issue or need, pressing need, or reason you're coming together, that there's not a specific funding opportunity. You come together to create your vision, mission, all that. And then there's an operational collaborative, which is more, I think I kind of alluded to it earlier, there's a specific funding opportunity. You might have some relationships with other potential partners, but you have a specific funding opportunity that you're pulling together for that particular. So that's more operational, it's more targeted for that, as opposed to strategic, which is, okay, what are our interests regardless of the funding opportunities, and then, okay, now let's look at the funding opportunities after we've established that.